everyone, and welcome back to Southeast Iowa Video Network's Community Profiles. I am your host, Greta Clemens, and as always, we are powered by KCTC. Thank you guys for tuning in today. It is February, which is wild. As always, we record this on Monday, and it's nice out today, but I don't think when you'll be watching this, it'll be quite as nice. So hopefully you got out and enjoyed the weather today. But February, if you didn't know, is Black History Month. So we would like to talk about that important subject here today. And who better to bring in other than Dan Henderson? So welcome.
Hi, Greta. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I know you've been on before, but let's just do a quick introduction of who you are, and then we can jump right in.
Well, I'm Dan Henderson. I've lived here in the community for about 25 years. I'm a retired teacher that has gone back to teaching. I teach part-time adjunct over at Kirkwood here in town. With history and education.
Nice.
And I'm also the director of Washington for Justice, and so that's kind of what we'll focus the conversation around, what that group is doing.
And
I guess the other thing I'll mention is I got my fourth grandchild on the way.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah, this summer will be another little boy.
Another boy. I was going to ask, do you know if it's a boy or girl?
Yep.
Boy.
Yep.
So do you have two girls, two boys, or how does it lay out?
I have two boys and a girl.
Oh, nice.
Already, so this will be a third boy, I guess.
That lucky girl.
Yeah. Yep.
That's like me on one of my sides of my family. We have 4 cousins, and I'm the only girl, so love it. Yeah. Awesome. So you are here to talk about Black History Month. I'm sure that's a very important topic for you and the group you're a part of. So what can you tell us? Maybe let's start with the basic. What is Black History Month? What is it recognizing for those who maybe don't know?
Sure. Well, obviously, it kind of highlights the importance of Black history in American history. Mm-hmm. It started out actually in the 1920s with a historian, Black historian by the name of Charles Woodson, who promoted the idea of having a Black History Week. Mm-hmm. And that got off the ground and took off for a while. And then I think it was Jimmy Carter in the 70s who actually turned it in or recognized it as a month-long event to focus on the contributions and history of Black Americans. So as an organization, Washington for Justice, even though we don't have a large Black population in town, we still feel that it's important for everyone. Mm-hmm. It's not just, Black history isn't just for Black people. Mm-hmm. It's for everyone to learn.
Right.
And so we wanted to offer the community some opportunities to learn. And so we have set up this year, last year we did just one event. This year we actually have set up 3 events.
Awesome.
Throughout the month. And they're all at the library. So I don't know if you want me to dive into those or where
I say we dive in. We just had the library on last week and they were talking about all their events. So there's a lot going on at the library this month. So you'll definitely have to.
The library is a happening place.
It is a happening place. We are so lucky to have them. So let's jump in with that. Let's talk about some of the events you have going on. I think that's great.
Our first event is going to be a week from tomorrow, which is, I don't know when this airs, but it'll be Tuesday, February 4th. Oh, actually, that's tomorrow.
Yeah, it already have happened.
It would have already happened. Okay, well, that event actually was a rescheduled event from Martin Luther King Day.
Oh, okay.
Because if you remember, it was extremely cold that
freezing.
night. I think the temps were down 20 below or more. So we postponed it. Okay. And we thought, it'll fit just to move it into Black History Month. So that event is actually going to focus on 3 authors, myself being one, and the other 2 gentlemen is a fellow named Dave Marquardt, who's the former superintendent of Cedar Rapids Public Schools.
Oh, okay.
He's written a book. Title of his book is called From Dubuque to Selma and Beyond, and it's his search or journey to understand racism in America. Now, he's a white man who, similar to me, has kind of been on this journey to understand and deal with racism and white supremacy. The other author is Stephen Berry, who has been here in town before. Now, he is an African-American gentleman who's written a novel about growing up in Iowa as a Black person.
Okay.
And it probably will astound a lot of Iowans who don't necessarily see or think about what that might be like. It's a great opportunity to sort of put yourself in the shoes of another person and experience what life was like growing up in Iowa as a Black person. Anyway, we're doing this series of programs across eastern Iowa where we call it Tough Conversations About a Racial Divide and How We Can Begin to Heal. We've been in Ottumwa. We were in Iowa City Saturday. We've got some more events coming up. So the response has just been terrific. People have really responded. The theory behind our conversation is racism doesn't go away by ignoring it. It doesn't go away by denying it. It goes away through having sometimes hard but productive conversations. Sure. And particularly when you have an African American with two white old guys from Iowa, or all Iowans, talking about the issue, it really becomes local about what, where we can do better. And anyway, that event was February 4th. The next event is on Tuesday, February 11th. Okay. Now that event,
that you can head over to.
yeah, exactly. And all these are at the library. They start at 6:30 p.m. Okay.
And are they free? Are they free?
They're all free.
Okay.
Yeah. This program will highlight the experience that John and Becky Widmer, I think a lot of people in town would know who they are, took a trip. And we call it the Civil Rights Pilgrimage of John and Becky Widmer. About a year and a half ago, they went with the Central Plains Mennonite Conference on a civil rights trip, pilgrimage, and they visited sites from in the South mostly, where a lot of the historic civil rights events took place. And they came back just absolutely changed and inspired. So they're going to be sharing their experience that night at the library. I think that will be quite interesting for people. The third event, or the last one, is on February 18th, which is also a Tuesday. So there's
all Tuesday events.
A little pattern there. Tuesday nights. Again, 6:30. This will be a film presentation, a documentary. The name of that documentary is American Coup, Wilmington, 1898. So again, this kind of is where the history becomes really important. And what this documentary recounts is kind of a horrible event, a massacre that took place in Wilmington, North Carolina in 1898, in which a group of white former Confederates, I guess you'd call them, launched a coup against the local government, which included a lot of black people at that time, and their white allies. It was what they called in those days a fusion government.
Okay.
And the white supremacists, and they called themselves that. It's not me calling them that. That's what they called themselves. The white supremacists launched a coup and drove hundreds and hundreds of black people out of the town, and they never were able to come back. And they took over all those government positions. So it really was a coup, like a coup d'etat at a local level. It's one of those events that in history people they want to bury this.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that.
Well,
so
exactly, it surprised me. It's kind of like the Tulsa Race Massacre. People are starting to learn about that one. This is another one, and there are actually quite a few more. But so our goal is to highlight this event, not in a way to say, hey, look how bad white people are. That's not really the point.
Right.
It's the point of here's the heritage or the history that we have to try to see how we can fix that today, because there were fortunes lost in that event. Wealth wasn't passed down to the next generation. I mean, it was one legacy after another. Property was lost. So, and so a lot of particularly black people in North Carolina and around the South, even in Iowa, still dealing with the outfall or downfall of that. So those are the three events. I think you'll find they're all different. Yeah. And hopefully something for everybody.
Yeah, those all sound very cool and very different and unique in their own way. So if you're interested, especially in the last two, since the first one we talked about has already happened. Hopefully you were able to check it out. But then the other two are on the next two Tuesdays of the month. So
now we do have another event. If I'll mention it, it's not really tied to Black history. We are partnering, Washington for Justice, partnering with Latinos for Washington to offer an immigration Know Your Rights workshop, which will take place February 10th. So,
Okay.
That's Monday. That's a week from today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I know. I can't grasp that we're in February. So
anyway, it's at 6:30 at the library. There'll be a couple of immigration lawyers there who will talk to people about, and it will be provided in Spanish and English.
Okay.
And
Perfect.
so it's free, open to the public. We want people to come and understand the immigration issue and what rights people have if they face, a raid, for instance, from Immigration Service, and maybe what our organization can do to assist and help. So it's kind of a scary time for our Hispanic friends in the community. So we're trying to do what we can, but that's coming up.
Do they need to sign up for that, or they can just come? And
no, I don't think there's a sign up.
Okay.
They can just come. 6:30 again, and there will be childcare available.
Oh, very nice
for that one.
Awesome. So February 10th, 6:30 at the library. Childcare available, which is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool. Awesome. So make sure you check out those events. I know you guys have a Facebook page. Washington for Justice has a Facebook page, so you can check that out, I'm sure, for more information.
Well, there are some flyers around town that look like that. I don't know if you get a picture of that.
You want to hold it that direction towards that camera? Sorry. I'm sure Peter can do his magic and flash it on the screen too. But
there are posters around town.
Okay.
That tell about the events. So
awesome, perfect. So those are some ways you can kind of learn more about Black history and kind of help celebrate the month. What would your suggestions be? What are some other ideas people can help support the Black community and celebrate Black History Month?
Well, one of the things I do actually with my book that came out, and we talked about this one before. I guess.
We did. We'll link it. We'll link that interview below.
I lose.
You're busy.
Track. But anyway, this book, which came out in August, is called "The Spiritual Journey to Anti-Racism: A Travel Guide for White People." So my audience for this is really talking white person to white person to think about and talk about how we were all raised in terms of assuming certain things in our culture about whiteness and about what's superior and what's preferred and those kinds of things. This book, it's on sale over there, by the way, over at Dodici Shop, so you can pick it up there. But the proceeds of that go to Black organizations, so I don't make money on this book. The idea is it's part of my anti-racism. Part of my anti-racism is to ask, how can I support Black groups and organizations? So some of the money will go to the African American Museum of Iowa in Cedar Rapids.
Okay.
There's a Black newspaper in Des Moines called Black Iowa News, and they work on a shoestring budget.
Yeah.
So any money I make goes to those two organizations, and I would suggest for anyone that says, "Hey, I want to help." One of the very simple, easy thing to do is to find an organization that you believe in and that you want to support, and support them. Donate.
Yeah.
The other thing you can do is obviously come join our group.
Yeah.
We'll put you to work. There's a lot of volunteering going on that we need. Another thing that people can do, now this is down the road, another event that we'll have, is Juneteenth. So this year be our 5th annual Juneteenth celebration. And it's always on June 19th is Juneteenth. So we will have a special program at the library with a children's author.
Cool.
And I'll see if I can say her name. Abena Sankofa Imhotep is her name.
That sounds good to me.
She's from Des Moines. I think I got it right.
Yeah.
She'll tell me if I didn't. But she's going to do a program for children, reading some of her children's books, and then in the evening we'll have an actual Juneteenth commemoration and recognize that holiday. And we'll do a second event the next day, Friday on the 20th. We'll have a concert with a Black musician. He's really good. He's a blues jazz musician from Des Moines.
Oh, cool.
The name is D'Artagnan Brown, and he'll bring his group in. And I'm not sure where that's going to be yet.
Okay, I was just going to ask that. I'm like, I know you've done it on the square before.
It's not going to be on the square, but there are a couple other venues we're looking at.
Very cool.
Get involved with that. But I would say the other thing to do if you're interested in understanding Black history is learn about it. Just go out and educate yourself.
Yeah.
There are so many books out there that, mine's one, but there's hundreds of them that you can get and read. Just become acquainted and understand. And the whole point of it, in my mind, in the point in the book, is to develop empathy. Mm-hmm. It's not about making people feel guilty, pointing a finger and saying, oh, you're a racist. That's not really what we're trying to do. Yeah. What we're trying to do is develop education and the ability for people to understand the life of another person, what it's like. As a white guy, I've never been profiled for my skin color. Never, ever, not once. But I can talk to my friend Steven, black man, gets profiled all the time. I don't know what that's like, but I've talked to him and tried to understand, wow, that just feels awful. Right. Nobody should be profiled for the color of their skin, but it happens. And so it's about understanding and empathy and then taking action. Yeah. Which is anti-racism. So anyway, that's what we're about. Yeah, love it. So make sure you guys, we'll link the interview that we went into a little more detail about his book. I think it was this summer, if I remember right. Yeah, it probably was. It came out in August. It was, I think, right before it came out. So it's probably in August. So we'll link it. You can learn more about the book, but it's for sale at Cafe Dodici, Dodici Shop. So you can check it out there. But let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll chat a little bit more with Dan.
In the heart of rural Iowa, where community matters most, the connections we make are made to last. Meet KCTC, your hometown internet, phone, and TV provider. At KCTC, we're not just about technology, we're about people. Our dedicated team are your neighbors, committed to bringing you top-tier services right where you live. We believe in giving back to the community that raised us. Experience the power of a real connection with KCTC. Join us in building a stronger, more connected Southeast Iowa.
Come visit us at Purposefully You Boutique and Home. Feel amazing in our comfy casual clothing styles with new inventory arriving weekly. Explore our unique home decor and delightful candle scents. We're conveniently located just 1 block north of the downtown square.
At Seafirst Credit Union, we're all about making connections, like how we connect you with a flexible financing you need to install that all-season room or remodel your kitchen with a home equity line of credit. Connect with Seafirst today and see why together is better.
The Connie and Amanda team is dedicated to giving back to our community by actively engaging with our clients, businesses, and the public. When it comes to helping you find your next home, investment, or commercial space, the Connie and Amanda team is here for you.
Bring the kids, share the memories, celebrate 75 years of traditions at the Midwest Old Threshers Reunion. Relive the magic of steam engines, antique cars, and trucks, tractors, gas engines, and horses. Whether it's your first visit or a cherished tradition, you'll enjoy the delicious foods, the thrill of an Old West shootout, and the excitement of nightly grandstand entertainment. For 75 years, this has been the place where memories are made at the 2025 Midwest Old Threshers Reunion, August 28th through September 1st in Mount Pleasant, Iowa. Visit oldthreshers.com for more details.
Washington County Hospital and Clinics, providing quality health care that puts you first. Whether during a hospital stay, seeing a primary care provider for wellness exams or sick visits, minor surgery to a total joint replacement, or recovering from an injury, we're here when you need us.
More than you expect for your health care. Washington County Hospital and Clinics.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I have been chatting with Dan Henderson. We have been chatting about Black History Month and all the things that Washington for Justice are hosting. They're hosting 3 events. One will have already happened when you've seen this, but it's Dan and 2 other authors and their books at the library. And then the Widmers. I don't remember what you called that.
Civil Rights Pilgrimage of John and Becky Widmer.
Yes. Yep. So you can check that out. And then the final one
is a film documentary. Yep. On American Coup, Wilmington, 1898.
Yep. Perfect. And those are all at the library on Tuesdays, the next 2 Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. So just rewind a little bit and we go into a little more detail about what each of those things are. But Washington for Justice is an amazing group here that we have locally that not only helps support Black History Month, but all different sorts of things within our community. And you have a couple other events, and especially one upcoming here soon.
Yeah, one of the key goals of our organization is service, serving the community. So educating, and we've been talking a lot about educating the community.
Yes.
Well, I'll talk a little bit about how we serve.
Okay.
Back in December, we did I'm trying to remember the year, I think it's the 4th year of our holiday food drive. And that has become really important to people. We had about 100 food boxes that we gave away. Wow. And I can tell you, they went in about 45 minutes. They were gone.
Jeez.
Cars lined up. So we do that every year because we realize that there is a need in Washington County. There is poverty in Washington County. And as we were talking, it kind of hides sometimes. You don't always see it, but there is a lot of poverty. We've started a new event this spring that's going to take place this spring, starting March 1st, and it is a Washington County diaper drive. And one of the things that has prompted that is I was studying Dr. Martin Luther King's life and found out that in the last year of his life before he was murdered, he had started what was called the Poor People's Campaign. And it was a drive to bring people of all races, nationalities together who were poor, suffering, and demand economic justice. Government, do something. And of course, this was in the 60s when there just barely were programs around to help. Well, unfortunately, he was murdered, but the need goes on. I mean, it hasn't been eradicated. So as I began to look at poverty in Washington County, I found out something astounding, that there are over 2,000 households. That's households. So it could be parents and children, or maybe just parents, who live on less than $40,000 a year. Now, poverty rate is 31,000. And I got to thinking about that. Well, does that mean if you earn 32,000, you're not in poverty anymore? And I thought, that's just a government number. It doesn't mean much. And really, when you think about it, $40,000 is not a whole lot either after taxes.
No.
So we decided another way we can help, particularly for those families with children. Diapers are expensive.
Very.
You know that.
I know. Yes, I'm like waiting for the day she's potty trained.
It's been a while since I've had little ones, but I know they're expensive.
Yeah.
And so we decided to do a diaper drive.
I think that's great.
What we're going to do is for a month and a half, from March 1st to April 15th, we're going to have drop points around the town, around the community, where people can just bring a package of diapers and drop them in the box. There'll be several churches involved. So United Methodists will be involved, and I think United Presbyterian, and the hoping that, I think it will, the Washington Mennonite Church.
Okay.
Then we'll have a box at the library, have one at Dodici Shop, one at the Northside Diner. We'll have them all over. Hopefully there'll be more. But we'll have people that will go around maybe weekly and collect the diapers. We're going to take them out to HACAP because they know who needs them. We're not going to distribute. We're going to collect them on behalf of HACAP. And I really want to encourage the community to help with this because, it's estimated that to have just one child in diapers will cost you around $80 a month. And if you're living on $35,000 a year, you may not be able to afford that.
No.
So, if you just think about not having enough diapers for a child, the impact of that, it's just not good. It's not healthy.
No.
So anyway, that is our next project, and we're excited about it, and want to help impact poverty any way we can. And, this is one way.
That's really cool. And I think that's nice that you're collecting a very specific thing, so people can just bring that one thing, and diapers are very much needed. And
well, it's easy to overlook that.
Yes,
and,
it's not something you think about. Yeah,
food you get. I mean, everybody understands you have to have that, but if you're, parent or couple that has a child, you need the diapers as much as you need food.
Yes, yeah.
So. Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, so if you have extra diapers laying around, or some of your kids maybe have grown out diapers, or outgrown, I think I said that backwards, outgrown diapers, or just grab a pack and drop them off next time you're shopping, and be a huge help. So
it will. It will. Remember, it's March 1st to April 15th. So
I was just going to say
6 weeks.
So you got a month and a half to drop that off, which is that's great.
Yeah.
And located at multiple locations, multiple churches, or Dodici Shop and Northside Diner, so you can drop them off there.
There is a Facebook. We'll put a Facebook page out for it.
Perfect.
Announcement, and probably maybe an ad in the paper here. We'll put out some other kinds of promo for. And hopefully, and some flyers. We'll get some flyers out too.
Awesome. Very cool. So Washington for Justice is out here doing some really, really, really great things. But again, just a reminder, this is Black History Month. So make sure you educate yourself and check out some of the resources that we have locally and some of the great events that we have going on, just so you can learn more and help take action going forward. But anything else you want to add or anything we've missed?
Oh, I've probably missed something, but we've talked about a lot of things. So,
we have,
I really want to encourage the community to join us.
Yeah.
And Latinos for Washington, we work very closely with them.
Yeah, two great groups.
We support they have a Latino festival in August. We'll be supporting that, volunteering for that with them.
If someone is interested in joining Washington for Justice, how do they?
Well, best way is to go to our Facebook group if you're on Facebook. If you have no other way if you have email, if you want to use email, you can write Washington for Justice, one word, at gmail.com. Okay. Or they can call 319-461-1055. So there's 3 ways you can get in touch with us.
Awesome. And they can join or help or whatever you guys need.
Oh, we've just got a number of things.
Do you guys meet on a recurring basis?
We have some officers. I'm the director, and Jamora Levson is our associate director. Trying to remember. Martha Sherman is our treasurer, and Luke Hertzler is our secretary. But beyond that, we also have a board of directors. So there's about altogether 9-10 of us that meet probably quarterly just to plan events. Sure. Go over finances, where we are, how we're going to raise the money. Yeah. And that's another way you can participate is you can always donate to us as we do these projects. Yeah. To serve the community. Yeah. That's another way you can get involved. Awesome. But certainly volunteering, we need lots of volunteers.
Lots of volunteers. And if you don't like volunteering, but you want to open the checkbook, that's also another great way to help out. So how long has Washington for Justice been around? Hasn't been super long.
We formed unofficially back in 2020. Okay. And it was shortly after the George Floyd murder. And
that's right.
A lot of people were upset about that. I think everybody can remember. A group of us got together and decided, let's just do what we can, even in this community, to foster better, kind of break down racial barriers and help heal those divides. And we've stayed with it. Now, last year, we actually formed a nonprofit. So we're now a nonprofit.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, up until then, it would just give us money and, but now it is a tax-deductible contribution. Awesome. Which is nice. And then we organized a board and officers, so it's a little bit better organized now than we were.
That's great. Yeah. Very cool. So they've been around a while, and they're doing great things. So
yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you for having me. And I'm glad we can get the message out.
Yes, absolutely. So make sure you guys check out their Facebook page and stay up to date with all the events going on. Lots upcoming in the next 2 weeks, and then a diaper drive, and then this summer, the 5th annual Juneteenth event. So it'll be a ton of fun coming up here in warmer weather, hopefully soon. So we can enjoy that. But thank you, Dan, for coming on.
Oh, great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we will end it out here, and we will see you all next week.